Hi there, and welcome to the Vegan Mainstream webinar series. In this series, we're going to be doing what we call Vegan Biz Bites. This is where we do a quick deep dive into tools, into tips, into things that you can truly implement in your business and get some actionable results quickly. And the key in this webinar is we want to talk about setting business resolutions, especially as many of us think about how we can realign our businesses in the beginning of the year. As we start to think about how we can re-energize our businesses, what I want you to do is just make sure that you're following some of these key tips to help you get where you want to be within the next 12 months. Now, for some of you, you may be watching this video at any time of the year. So that 12 months could start in June, it could start in July. It doesn't necessarily have to start in January. But the key here is we want to make sure we understand where you want to be and start to kind of create a path to help you get there. Now, for some of you, this may be your first webinar with us, and I'm Stephanie Redcross with Vegan Mainstream. I've been vegan for about 15 years, and I started the company back in 2009. Really, our goal and my passion is really around marketing, business support, business structure, and really helping fellow vegans start, create, and maintain amazing businesses. So we hope these webinars are really a great tool in our community to help many of you out there to really kind of continue to take your businesses to the next level. All right, so let's start talking about tip number one. Tip number one is when you're thinking about that resolution, when you're thinking about the new kind of newness of your business, where you want things to go in the future, what I want you to do is always start with your goals. I don't want you to think about what you want to change yet in your business. Really, I want you to spend some time dreaming. I want to keep you in that land where you're thinking about where you want to be. And what I want you to do, or what I always recommend, is think about where you want to be in these three areas, specifically financially in your business. What financial lever do you want to move? Are you trying to generate more revenue? Are you trying to reduce some cost? Are you trying to generate more ongoing and steady revenue? Are you trying to do some big launches or events throughout the year so you can get pops of revenue? There's a lot of different ways to approach it, but what I want to make sure is that you just don't come up with goals that are things that you wish your business was better at. Instead, I want you to really concretely be able to say from a financial standpoint, this is how I want that needle to move. The other thing I would say is think about where you want to be from your overall business goal. And this can be things around reach. This can be around expansion, meaning going into new markets, offering new products or services, maybe helping a different segment of a customer base that you haven't done before. And then also thinking about what you do as far as give back. Meaning, are you doing anything where you're offering free services, free tools, scholarships? I always like to put something in there when I think about my business as far as what can I do to give back? What are some of the ways that I can help? And then also thinking about from that reach standpoint, what can I get out there that'll not only help me reach more people, but can help me facilitate that idea of giving back, that idea of creating content for educational purposes, creating content that really can help people grow and help them achieve what I want them to achieve. Ultimately, same thing for you, what you want them to achieve. And then finally, I always love to have a personal goal. The reason being is for many of us, you're small businesses. It's you, a partner, you and 2 or 3, 5, 10, 15 employees. You're really a tight-knit group of people. So therefore, you as the owner, you as the leader in your business, you as a manager in a vegan business can really drive a lot of change, a lot of impact. So what we want to do is make sure we're constantly making those skills sharp. We want to make sure that we're constantly ensuring that you're getting better and better at things and you're pushing yourself to be better, to do things that maybe you didn't have time to do before or you didn't have the skill to do before. All right. Now, when you're setting goals, I like to set about 4 goals, max 6 if you're really feeling overzealous. But the idea is I want you to set some goals. I want you to sit down and literally say, this is what I'm going to achieve within the next 12 months. And these goals have to have metrics on them because we want to be able to measure them. So make sure when you're thinking about your goals. Now, for some of you, you may already say, Steph, I have my goals down. I generally know where I want to be. But when you think about your resolutions, when you think about what is the change that you're going to drive in your business, it's one level deeper than the goals. It is actually the actions that you're going to do. Because to meet these goals, you have to maybe launch different projects. You may have to increase certain capabilities. You may have to change something in your business to make this happen. So the goals are really kind of the measurement of getting to the finish line, or that's what the finish line looks like. But the reality is when we think about our resolutions, when we think about where we want to go and what we want to do in our business, it's going to be a drill down from here. And that's why I always like to start with goals, because I don't want you to start with tasks. I don't want you to start with things you want to do, because it's easy to come up with a list of stuff to do. The hard part is making sure you have a focused list. So if you have these goals, then what you do is you start to drill down on each one of them and say, what do I need to do? What do I need to accomplish? What do I need to change to make this happen? Now, the challenge is that can be a huge laundry list. So therefore, you have to focus. And the question will be, what is the most impactful thing I can do to help me get to those goals? Not everything that's wrong in your business, not everything that you wish didn't happen or went sideways, or reminiscing on all the things that, wish maybe never happened in your business. The reality is we got to move forward. The reality is we have to keep looking at the horizon. So what I want you to do is create a wish list. I want you to literally sit down and start to say, what are the things I wish I could do? I wish I could set up. I wish that we had the capabilities for that would help me meet these goals. Not things that we just should try and maybe should consider. Remember, we constantly want to align ourselves with those goals, because if you made that initial decision to say those are what's most important to the business, then your wish list, then your milestones have to link from there. Now, the key challenge is once you get this list, we get all fired up. We try to say, okay, I know what I want to do. I know where I'm going. I'm starting to see the vision. I'm starting to see the path. And then you're like, man, I need all of this stuff. And what happens is we start to put too much pressure on ourselves. We start to put the pressure of thinking that all of this should have been done yesterday. And what I want you to do, what I probably say, my next big tip is roll out things over time. And I literally mean over time. So if you take your wish list, start to comb through it, take out anything, like I said, that's not impactful, and start to think about of these resolutions, of the things that you're going to start to make happen in your business. When are you going to do them? And don't commit to everything happening in January. Or if you're doing this mid-year, don't commit to everything happening in the first month, the first 2 months. The idea is that there are things that have to be rolled out. These are things that are going to have a great impact on your business. Because remember, we stuck with impact, not just pain points. So therefore, I want you to start to think about what can be done in January, what can be done in February, what can be done in March and April. And I know for some of you, it's going to feel super painful because it's going to be like, why would I wait to get those things done? And it's not about waiting. It's about having the right capacity. It's about really sitting down and making sure that we're doing what's most important first, and also preparing ourselves for our future. Making sure that we're laying the groundwork and we're not sending ourselves in 20 different directions because it feels like we should be. It feels like we should be stretching ourselves like a rubber band so hard, almost to the brink of not, popping the rubber band. Then that sounds like we're working hard. And that's not the case. Hard work is hard work. You do not have to work yourself into the ground to be working hard. what you want to do is make progress. So I want you to pace yourself. I want you to pace your team. And I want you to start to think about what are going to be some things you're going to do now and what are you going to focus on each month, so that when we say these goals are 12-month goals, we literally are saying every month I'm working to get better and better and closer to that finish line. Now, resolutions, goals, all those great things are smart. You've heard them probably before. You know maybe you should be doing them, and hopefully with this video I've maybe pushed you along a little bit so that you will definitely go do it this year. But the key is not just thinking about this, not just whiteboarding it, and not just writing it down in a notebook. The key is starting to document these things, because if we're going to commit to them, they have to be visible. They have to be visible to you. They have to be visible to the whole team. We also need a way to track them, to be able to say, are we making progress? Are we checking these things off the list? So what I tend to do is like to put mine in one central place. And for me, I put them in Asana. Even though Asana is like project management, and at this level, we're high level. I actually have individual tasks and everything underneath these items for, the day-to-day things that we have to get done. But anytime I set my goals, anytime I set my milestones or resolutions, and then I also have some things in there that I know are ongoing, I put all of that in one place. So ultimately, I can come in and review it at any time. My team can review it. When we're doing team meetings, we go back and look at this and say, are we focused on the things that are going to help us with the goal? Or did we come up with a random project because we all got excited? We also go into here and look at these milestones and say, okay, what's coming up? What are we focusing on? Do we need to spin off some task lists? Do we need to create a project plan because we committed to working on this item in February, as an example? And this is just a sample of a documentation I do when I do training. So this is just showing you what it could look like. And then what's great about it is when you start to knock off these milestones, you can go in and check them off and they disappear off the list. When you finish one of these goals and you hit it, you check it off and you can take it off the list. And then now we are actually seeing progress happen. Now we are documenting it, we have visibility to it, and we can actually see you hitting your goals. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope this bite has given you a little bit of inspiration around really getting those plans in place, getting kind of this first outline in place of what you're going to do, and truly pacing yourself so that you can ultimately document it, make progress, and start to drive change, but more importantly, get you where you want to be in your business. All right? Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye.